Ladies and gentlemen, this is Bluffosaurus versus 100 Rush and Cash. Let's get the cards in the air. Do you know, when I was about 19 years old, me and two friends came home from a night out and we didn't have any poker chips. We did have cards and we wanted to play poker. Did you know what we used as poker chips? We used bread. We got a loaf of bread and we ripped up the pieces into little bits. The crusts were worth 5 and the white bits were worth 1. We played 1-2. 1 pence, 2 pence, I believe. There you go. True story. That's how my poker career got off the ground. You play poker to earn your bread, or you've got to use bread to play poker. I just thought about that there for some reason. I don't know why it came into my head. Actually, I do know, because I was talking to that old friend this morning. We opened ace 10 under the gun. We bet 1 big blind or check on this board. I'm always going to bet 1 big blind against a recreational player, because getting 3 streets of value is just more likely. King 10, I am going to call, always. That's a very good flop for King 10. Nut flush draw on second pair. There's no reason... There's no real reason to bet here. Well, there is actually some reason to bet, and that is like getting called. Do you know what? I'm going to bet. This is like fully exploitative. If I was playing more of a serious strategy on this board, I would check this hand and I would build around bigger bets. The reason I'm betting it is that the branches where a diamond comes, I just want to ensure the pot grows, and I don't think I'm getting trap check raised enough to be punished for that. In GTO, the punish is that it's not even really a punish when we have that hand, but in principle, we get raised more often than never. And in this pool, yeah, we kind of get raised close to never in that spot. So it's worth just betting the high equity hand that can develop into something and betting small. You could even go like half pot. You're not in bad shape against a lot of the better hands that call you as well, because your outs are just so nutted and so pure. Can go either way here. We can check. We can bet 1 big blind on this board. We're going to be pure defending. Queen Jack of Spades to the 3-bet. And we'll spot on turn. I'm going to go ahead and bet half pot. I don't think people do a good enough job of slow playing this flop. This turn is kind of bad, and my hand is mostly meant to check in theory, but I'm just going to bet half pot and bet fold. I don't think I'll get punished much for this at all. Again, just looking for lines in these softer games where if you're playing low stakes like 50, 100, you want to beat a pool like this. We have a big, giant, whopping great RNG here. Look, boom, boom, RNG. But we don't have to use it, and we shouldn't use it in most spots, because our primary objective is to decipher whether betting is better than checking, whether overbet is better than pot, you know, these kind of questions. We face a big bet here. I'm meant to roll a bit of raise with this hand. I'm not in love with the idea. 10-9, check, raise is good. Let me just mute past Pete. He's just appeared on Twitch to start talking to us. I need to... And YouTube. I can't stop it, guys. I'm hearing myself. You guys aren't, so that's okay. But I'm hearing myself. I don't know where it's coming from. I'm gonna fold. Let me sit out for 1 second while I fix this. I'm gonna fold 4-3. Under the gun range is just a bit too live here. Okay, I've stopped past Pete from tilting me and distracting me, so we'll jump back in. Just heard the bread story again. Yeah, the reason that I was telling the playing poker with bread as chips story is that I was chatting to one of those two friends, the other one, the girl, lost touch with a very long time ago. She's a bit weird, to be honest. Sort of person that will talk to you when it's convenient, you know? Will like be your best friend when it suits her, and otherwise will just like ghost you, that sort of person. So for that reason, we lost touch a long time ago. Bleh, can't speak. But the guy became one of my very best friends in all of life. He moved to Australia, so I don't see him very often, but we were chatting this morning, and I was showing him my son, Ruben, who's 8 months old, holding this teddy that the girl got me for my 18th or 19th birthday, or was it for Christmas? I don't remember. It was some present anyway, because we were quite close friends back in the day. And the teddy is like a creepy looking sun-like creature called Mr. Funshine. If you look up Mr. Funshine, you might be able to find this teddy. I don't know if it exists anymore, whether it's still printed, if that's the right word. But yeah, I was showing this to my friend Bobby, and that's why the playing poker with bread as chips story is in my head. I'm just rambling, guys, because I'm card dead. I'll stop talking shit when we get into a hand. In other news, code CRUSH20 is live on Carrot Corner. It is our bonus code to you for watching the stream. Go ahead and pick up any course that you want, any bundle of courses that you want on carrotcorner.com. Put in CRUSH20, all one word. Top link in the description. Save 20% at checkout. Embark on a formal, academic, rigorous, comprehensive poker education. All these adjectives these are my marketing adjectives. Okay, 10-4 suited. I am not going to fold this on button if this goes limp or fold from cutoff. I'm going to take a peek. I don't think people are going to do anything about it for the most part. Post flop, like, they're not going to play well enough that I can't just look at the flop at those odds with those cards, so that would have been my plan. Ace King. Game Theory Optimal versus Grand Theft Auto. Good name. Get a 3-bet. Keeping my small blind 3-bet. A little bit smaller. Because I'm using the linear range, I'm happy to play pots. With that range, I would go bigger in big blind a little bit because we're using a more polar range, and we are more very big hand heavy when we have value and bluff heavy when we have bluffs, of course. 9-4. I will pass on this spot solely because we have queens down here. It's incredibly close, and I want to focus on queens, which is always going to be... Do I always want a 4-bet? Actually, I might roll a little bit of call. I'll usually 4-bet. I don't mind call. I like having queens in a 3-bet pot in late position. I think while it benefits from the fold equity of 4-betting, it's also a nice little trappy number to have in your range. The more aggressive your opponent is post-flop, the more we actually want to play trap there. The RNG is part of PT4, which, as everyone knows, is a superior program to HEM. I've never liked HEM. Get out of here. HEM. But always 4-bet kings specifically. I don't need to go very big though. I just will press the 4-bet button though, so I don't time down, because that would be a little bit embarrassing. The reason I was going to go smaller is that we are cut off against big blind specifically. Let's sip of coffee here as we ease our way into this 4-bet pot. I'm going to always bet, and I'm going to bet half pot on this kind of texture. People are playing a lot of jam with their jacks and stuff here. Jacks is probably like close to indifferent against this, honestly. I like this line. I like this rushing value line with kings here. If you go small, they're not really finding the check raises that they need to find. This is a whale, so we are always peeling this hand anyway. Flop I might peel, who's got a wider range than he should. Ace high has more showdown value than it should, and there's more implied odds than there should be against the whale with the nut flush draw backdoor. So I'll probably peel small flop bets. As played, we'll just try and take this hand to showdown. I don't like the fold equity against anything stronger than Ace 7. Always imagine, like, how often is your opponent folding hands that beat you? And on this card, honestly, like, it's going to hit a lot of his checkbacks that we were winning against. So I'm not actually a fan. Do I want to range check this board? I think I will. We actually get the chop there, which is nice because our range is really, really weak and struggling, and his range isn't. So for him to, like, check the bottom of his range here is really, really friendly of him. I might check raise the turn on that roll. You can go either way. I meant to bet the ace queen. That's really frustrating. I will bet the river though. And I will raise here. It's somewhat thin, but now that we've checked back turn, it's okay to check back turn sometimes, by the way, but I think we have to raise river. 2 pair. Oh, ace deuce. Okay, nice. He's just like, I don't believe you check back turn, which is okay. I mean, fair, but like people also don't really go for bluffs in that node either. So snap call isn't a very intelligent way to play poker. Like snap calling some spot that's like a bit weird and a bit offbeat. I'm gonna open Jack 10 off here. This table just looks a bit soft. You know, just snapping a spot like that is indicative of a very poor mental game. Like a degenerate style mental game. Like if you're playing a poker session and you dare to call yourself a serious player because you're watching Carrot Corner or some other more serious educational content, you spend loads of time watching that content and thinking about the game and trying to get better, and then you play a session, you're pissed off, you're frustrated, B200 check here, checking B100 check now. On turn, that's my toolkit. That means like if I bet, I'm betting B100. I'm going to always bet this hand in practice. The spot's just too juicy in fold equity. There's not enough punish. I'm not going to be RNGing the turn. You should RNG like a bit of check on the turn in theory, but it's a small frequency and I don't care to do it. 7-3 in hijack. I would probably limp this in button and maybe cut off. I'm going to open again with a weaker player in the big blind. The brown tag means that they play like sludge. Like they literally play like a pile of sludge or maybe a pile of shit. Actually, it doesn't. It's just an old tag that I've not used for a while. Maybe it even meant short stacker. I don't remember. Yeah. So, thank you for joining me, Blake. 4:30 a.m. commitment. Do you say bro, Blake? Humor me here. My theory is that there's a very strong correlation between people that say bro and people that stay up till 4:30 a.m. What do you think? Just let me know. I know you're only a sample size of 1, but let me know. Do you commonly say bro, Blake Danielson, or not? This is probably pushing it a little too much with the ace-4, although it is tempting for sure, but I think it's pushing it too much. Can I just B200 this bad boy? I didn't have time to RNG. I'm not. You're checking another hand due to timing out, guys. I refuse to do it. I know that you know what I've done, Lam, and I'm going to tell everyone. I'm going to tell everyone what I've done, because I don't want us to have secrets from chat. You're trying to alienate my chat, because you're trying to have a secret between me and you, a little private in-joke, a little mates joke, yeah? I'm not going to let you do that to my chat, because my chat are just as important to me as... Actually, I better not say that, because it's not true. Better not say that. I love you guys though, but Lamb's been a friend of mine for quite some time. Don't take it personally. Easy call with 5s is way too much good implied here, and I feel like we're going to hit a set this morning. Like very soon. Might not be this hand, might be the next hand. Okay, it wasn't this hand, but I feel like it's coming. I'm going to check the very bottom here and just raise a little bit more. Selectively, I'm going to call because they're probably betting range. I should have taken a bit of time. Like poor timing on my part there. I'm going to just fold here. I don't think this is really realizing enough. EV. Check and hope to win. I don't think we win now when he checks this turn quickly. I think he has a 10. I'm going to fold the river. I think this is super underbluffed, actually. Not super underbluffed, but when he quickly checks that turn, there is some air. Maybe I should just call river, actually. I probably should call river. I just felt like in my bones that although bet check bet with wide range is usually overbluffed on that board, it's probably not. I think I should still call river, just with the basic default premise that half pot's too overbluffed. I just felt with the timing that that's just like a reg with like top pair, second pair type thing though. I just felt it in my bones from the timing and I reacted. The bald Aussie, Bob Duran asks on Twitch. He asks, he or she, I should say, asks any more collabs with the bald Aussie coming soon. Should have gone smaller with ace jack, but time is of the essence. Jack 7 will take the spot, 6s will take the spot. I don't like to be in 3 spots at once, if any of them are 0 EV, because it's just like harder with the time bank situation to play well. I'm going to range bet third pot on this board. Fold Jack 7. Turn gets really interesting. Obviously a pure bet with ace jack on the queen turn, and a very high frequency bet for range, and I'm going to actually polarize out here and go fairly big in this spot. I do the same with my value, something like this. I just timed down something I needed to play. See, this is why I don't like being in multiple spots on stream. This is why I fold break-even things, guys. I'm going to try and do less of this. Less of this timing down business. Villain calls again. Interesting situation. I mean, I have an okay bluff, but when they call a big turn bet deep here, I don't think they're calling enough underpair. I think they're meant to call underpair occasionally. I don't think they have that much queen on this node from flop. I block ace queen of diamonds. I think I should probably just give up here. I think they have a king or a slow play almost always. And I think the fold equity in real life is much worse than it is in practice. I'm going to jam ace king though. Fade the uber trap from the queens. They're well played by Villain, by the way. But he's not going to get us to Bluffosaurus the river. Because we're not a mindless fire-breathing dragon. We are a shrewd dinosaur with a pea brain. But we know when to give up. Every good Bluffosaurus knows when to give up. I do say bro, says Blake. See? I really was strongly... You know, I was quite convinced that you did say bro. What do you feel when you say bro? What do you mean it? Like, how do you mean it? Do you mean it as like a friendship thing? Like you're being friendly? Do you use it aggressively? Do you use it like in a sort of like chest beating way? I'm not judging. I'm just genuinely interested in your use of bro. Humor me here. Stay awake. Come on, I'm trying to keep you awake, Blake. Let's keep Blake awake. 8-7. Lots of ways to go. Scanning table. This guy looks like he might be recreational with 26 VPIP. We'll creep in here. Ace queen. A bit deep. Oh, that's such a shame. It's not that far away from a call, but I just can't really do it. I can't really justify it because it gets reopened jam sometimes as well. This is a shame though. And I'm going to fold this hand at this SPR. If it was a bit deeper, I would call that hand, but I'm not. I think it's a bit too much investment. Labels are kind of all over the place, but the ones you need to know about are pink being recreational, yellow being reg, and of course the good old blue label that doesn't mean anything. Just randomly people have it. You gotta have a label like that, guys. Isolate this guy smallish with this bad hand. Because we like to be in it to win it against recreationals. Third pot should be good here. I don't want to pick a sizing that causes him to spew raise like Jack 10 of diamonds against me. That would suck. It does happen. So I'm going to go too small. Probably not calling river after villain filters flop against that sizing. I'm supposed to be able to bluff this hand in equilibrium. I'm not going to against the 36 VPIP. I'm going to check and take whatever showdown I have here. Again, it's just not a spot that's going to be that conducive to fold equity. I'm going to call. I don't like this. I think there's enough random floats that call flop. Uber nuts. Nice. Because of that VPIP that we probably want to call it 25% required, but it's not a good spot. Because villain is like, I'm mainly just calling in case they have like Broadway, or like some low pair that called flop and is now spewing river, and I'm getting a really good price to find out if those things are true, if those things are happening. Not find out, but to win the pot when those things are happening. So I think it's good. This guy's recreational, so we are just going to pure 3-bet 10s here. We don't have to, in theory, but we are. So far, I think we're playing quite well. We just need to sort out our timing a little bit. Just make sure that we are playing in a way where we don't squander EV just by like running out of time. Because that's the main thing I struggle with on stream. We're playing 3 tables today, you may have noticed. Which is a nice compromise between 80 spots. It's quite small. How many tables is this guy playing? This is like super important for a spot like this where we get called for a bet. I'm actually going to request time so I can get a 4-bet this ace jack in the hope that this guy just folds. Yeah. 4 tables, okay. Small 4-bet shove. Very important to know timed out there. That's why I paid to know, because like I think against the recreational you can just fold. I don't think it's anything to do about half pot and shove. I don't think we're going to get much action here, but we will. If they have like ace queen, they might call one, the king jack they're calling, etc. Maybe even go b60 there or something. I'm going to bet turn check back river with tens. It's just a lot of protection and worse hands calling again and a high VPIP player. And I don't think we'll get bluff raised much at all. Both contexts of bro, aggressive and friendly. Nice. It's good to hear. It's good to talk to. Are you Gen Z, Blake? I feel like you're Gen Z as well. It's good to talk to Gen Zs about life because, like, I don't want to lose touch. I want to be like the millennial that loses touch with the younger generation, you know? I don't want to be a kids these days inappropriately, you know, politically incorrect old man. I mean, I don't mind. I don't want to be like fully politically correct either for obvious reasons because it's like literally ridiculous to be fully that way. But I don't want to be the really out of touch old man. We get a lot of these at the Bridge Club. You know, they say extremely inappropriate things like the few Gen Zs that are in the Bridge Club. Like stuff that you could say like 40 years ago that you can't say now. That's not what I'm going on about with the bro stuff here. I'm just interested, man. If you play 2NL to 10NL, cash injection will make an absolute shit ton of sense. And here's why. Cash injection is a course about very common leaks that people have, that humans have in general, and how to exploit them. And your opponents at 5NL, 2NL, 10NL online are the same caliber of players that play 1-2 live, 2-5 live. And there are players at 50NL that play like that too, and 100NL and 200NL and all the way up. Cash injection is appropriate for any stake, but it's even better for lower stakes because the leaks that we cover in the course are more likely to be true at lower stakes. I should just size up here because he's just not going to raise enough. They're under bluffing and they're going to raise two merged, so I'm just going to pile in money here. If they have king queen, they have king queen. But there's too much 2-pair, 8-7, queen 8 chops, combo draw, set, stuff like this. Do you want to run it, guys, or do you want to cash out? What do you want to do? You want to run it? Okay. You want to cash out now? You want to run it again? You want to run it again? Okay. Good choice. Good choice, chat. How did I know you wanted to run it on the delay? Just felt like you wanted to run it. Pretty sure you wanted to run it. Let me know if I was wrong. If you were screaming at the screen, cash out, Pete! Cash out! Don't do it, bro! Don't risk it, bro! Let me know in the chat. So yeah, the lower you play, the worse the humans are, the more prevalent the common human leaks discussed in cash injection will be, and the better that cheap entry-level exploit course, your first, it's like my first exploit course, right? That kind of deal. There's bet jacks here. I don't actually care. The guy's got 40 VPIPs. I just want like more value than normal. I'll probably double barrel and check back river as well, to be totally honest with you. I'm just custom sizing the turn. I don't actually care. This guy's saying he has a 9. We beat a lot of bluffs anyway. I don't see the point in 3-betting the flop. We're in pretty bad shape against the 9. Easy check back on the king river. If he leads, I think we can just fold. There's not many reasons for leading that river other than this is why we bet the turn. They're just playing meekly, passively, not punishing. Easy call. Don't know what the guy's doing. Might have a 7, might have 8s. Doubt he has a 9 after he half pots turn, but it's still possible. The 10 river and you go for the big sizing. The guy's got a pink tag. This is really close actually now. Like some stuff has just got there unfortunately, like 6-8 and jack 8. I'm probably gonna fold now. Like I think if he had like the pair region, he probably sizes down on turn but doesn't bet river like that. With a 9, he can still do that on turn, and some straights get there too. And then, like, what's left to bluff, there's not a ton. We block some of that with a 5 of clubs, although it's not a huge deal. Time out. Horrible, horrible time back situation. Right, this guy again. Let's give some rope now. The same guy? I think it's the same guy. Let's check jacks here. Let's give a little bit of incentive. Okay, let's not be shy on the sizing now. I think we've got a very good hand against villain. Gonna go with third pot here. I don't really care. I don't really want to check raise this hand or check. Check call's okay, but I don't love it. I'd rather just bet. Okay. So yeah, what people need to understand about poker that a lot of people don't understand about it is that it's a human game. It's a game played between humans, right? And there's some GTO nerds that I've taught over the years that just don't understand that at all. They're just comparing their strategy to some ideal robot versus robot equilibrium, and it's okay to use robot versus robot equilibrium as an experiment, like an empirical laboratory in which to more deeply understand the laws of physics of the game. That's fine. But when you make it your sole mission to strive to just apply that in every spot without thinking about the human versus human element, you throw away a lot of EV. And that's the difference between like winning and not winning for most of those guys that are like quite bright, quite intelligent, but are just like trapped in that web. But what you really need to understand about poker is that because it's a human versus human game, I want to take this spot. I think oh my god, my computer just freaked out. That was not good. Because it's a human versus human game, the exploits that are present are universally present overall, because human beings are all the same. Like if you go up to a person on the street and you say, you know, you just go right up to them, you're just like, do I have a way of getting back to the scene if I do a hotkey thing here? No, I don't think so. Why is that on screen? I don't know why that's on screen. My RNG was gone for ages there, sorry. And the GG lobby was just randomly there. What was I gonna say? Yeah, if you go up to someone on the street and you're like, bleh, you're gonna get a fairly similar reaction, right? Regardless of who the person is, regardless of whether they're what sort of person they are, you're very likely for them to just sort of be taken aback and just like not know what to do and just be a bit stunned. Like that's just going to be the reaction, right? For the most part. And you don't need to know anything about humans in particular, like about like that one human to predict that. You can just be fairly sure that that's what's going to happen. What is going on here? Like they're never going to slow play a flush in this spot. Often does this guy have a flush though, or a 9? Fair amount. Then we run into a 9 or a flush just a lot here for this player behind. There's not a whole lot of other hands that actually play this way. Gonna check this time with ace 10. Obviously bet one big blind is good. This guy has a flush 100% of the time. Literally 100% of the time. Watch. This guy's gonna call with a 9. He's gonna have a flush. Oh my god, he was bluffing. This guy had the flush. I was wrong. I was wrong, guys. Should have bet bigger here. Sounds too big for this sizing, I think. Easy check now. And we lose to kings. What on earth? All right. Okay, fair enough. Always run up with degenerate gamblers. That's what I thought. See? That's what I thought. Good choice. Who watches a stream to see someone cash out? No one. Yeah, the game has changed a lot. So Ben says, I used to play 100 back in the day, but the game's changed a lot since then. Yeah, absolutely true. Appeal vibes, you guys know how I like to play this spot. I like to be involved in hands that people don't play well with high implied odds hands. 7 fortitude, my favorite hand, my flavor of the month. I love this hand. I'm always going to play this hand for you. It's my new Jack 9 of clubs. I'd rather have Jack 9 of clubs here though. Obvious reasons. Don't think there'll be enough check raise here. I'm just going to bet small with 5s with a diamond. There's a lot of reasons for betting this hand. All of them pretty good. Going to pure overbet the turn here. And we do get check raised. This is actually very close, but I'm going to fold because I just don't think people are doing it enough as a lower EV bluff. I think they're finding like you know, certain gutters and flush draws and sets, but I don't think they're finding like some of the weirder stuff that we're doing well against. And our hand's very subject to being outdrawn even when it is ahead. So yeah, just going to be folding there with that one. Yeah, 100 NL back in the day is nothing like what it is now. Some of the regs that play this game now are much, much better than they ever were back in the day. But you still get recreationals and they're still like the same at all limits, really. Gonna pure 3-bet this hand. I just want to be in a bigger pot here against a non-full stack, semi-recreational type player. Blake says, I am Gen Z, 19 years old, just learned poker recently last winter, and your videos helped me immensely. Thank you for sharing that, Blake. And thank you for the kind words as well. I've been interviewing Blake about his use of bro and whether he uses it aggressively or in a friendly manner, and he's informed me that he uses it in both ways, which is interesting. I'm gonna range check that board. Let me know what you think of this format, 3 tabling, by the way. If you're enjoying it, not enjoying it, let me know what you think. I am very indifferent here between all options. On a 95, I'll just fold. I don't know that that's a spot that, against the bigger bet, I'm that excited about, honestly. Gonna size up 7s. We have weaker players here. The hand is decent. Gonna be close to range checking this board, pure checking this hand. He snap checks the turn, so I am going to go B50 and always bluff river as an exploit here. I wouldn't, obviously with the jack, we're now in more like value bet domain. I think on the jack of hearts, we have to check. It's harder to get called by worse hands now, and we just lose a bit more often on that card. I'm going to peel the 6-5. I have a soft spot for this hand. I think it's probably winning. And we get 3-bet. We call the 3-bet. Villain bets half pot. We fold 7s. Pretty standard. And we are going to... We can raise here, actually. I don't mind raising with this hand. It's got quite a lot of EV. But we'll call on that number. I don't have a preference against a big bet, really, about call or raise. Queen 7, I'm going to open. It's a bit of a stretch, but the small blind player is really bad. This might be losing, actually, even with this player in the small blind. Love to see you play some 500 1k. He needs to be drunk for that. I haven't done that in quite a while, since I sort of, I don't know, retired from being a poker player. Or putting in volume sort of poker player. I haven't done that much. I do think if I worked on my game, you know, it would be an interesting thing to grind those stakes for a bit. But I'd need to be working more on my reg versus reg game. What you're seeing today is quite a lot of exploitative stuff. The reg versus reg game is a bit harder to just wing on the fly on stream. It requires a bit more focus than this sort of like taking candy from a baby exploit game. But we could do it. I did play, I'm pretty sure we did a drinking stream. Not advocating drinking, I'm dead against most forms of drinking these days, actually. But we did that maybe 4 or 5 years ago and played some higher stakes. But generally, these streams are educational. They're to teach you guys how to play the games that you're playing and beat those games. Queen Jack will just pass on this for now because I'm enjoying talking. So yeah, one thing that tilts me is the aggressive use of bro. Like, it just feels really two-faced because you're saying bro, like brother, right? As if you're saying like you are an ally. But then you're using it in an unfriendly way. So what's that about, Gen Z? Tell me. Size up here. I think we have 2 possible recreationals. We have jacks. Again, very exploitative stream, right? You're playing in a pool with a lot of weaker players. You're playing high rake. You've got to play very exploitatively to beat this game. You can't just be like clicking this RNG and using it as a cop-out all the time. I will click it when I'm indifferent, right? When I can't decide between lines. But I will not click it otherwise. If villain has a 9 here, he gets caught in the blender. And we just get to go for 3 streets on good runouts. That's kind of the idea with the sizing. Villain calls. We are playing B100 check. And I am checking with jacks, obviously. A little bit of time. If villain has a 9 here, they're going to check the river very quickly, for the most part. And the reason I think that is because they acted fairly quickly on flop. So I don't think they have a 9. Straight draws get there. This is blocking of... It's not really blocking of bluffs, actually. It's blocking of value. Which means that shove could be a thing, because we block jack 8. We don't block many bluffs, actually, with this sizing scheme. The problem is that we're asking people to fold a very strong value range of, like, sets and 2-pair. And even if they, like, if they're good and they understand that we're now saying we have a straight and it's a spot we wouldn't bluff very often, we can get that through enough for it to be okay. The problem is against this pool, we can't get it through enough for it to be okay because they are absolute hand strength driven, right? It's a weak pool. They think mainly about absolute hand strength. And for that reason, we don't really want to do that. Do we want to overbet here? I'll just go with pot. Oh, fuck's sake. Excuse my language, but I pressed the wrong button on table 1. We have cold called Jack 4 offsuit. The Robbie J. Lou in the small blind. We have been punished. I'm gonna have to call the squeeze and get accused of cheating. Just kidding. Bye-bye, 2 bigs. That's $2, man. Look, that was $2. We could have spent that on a cheeseburger from McDonald's. We could have spent that on like 3 packets of crisps. Potato chips. We could have spent that on... What would you spend $2 on, chat? What would you rather spend $2 on? Oh yeah, let's go 3-ball time. The king 10 suited here. Let's play a 3-ball to pot. Fix my posture. Okay. Twitch tells me I need to sit up. I don't know why that's still a command. I do know actually it's Beatrice's fault, my assistant, or I guess very part-time assistant these days, shall we say. Involved in other hands, won't play that. Yeah, I mean, no excuse for timing down these spots other than I'm old and slow. What can I say? What can I say? Tens villain has a lot here. I doubt they slow play jacks that quickly. They could have queens. I think we just do something like this. Oh, did I just raise the flop with this hand against that stack size? That's so bad. God, I'm making so many mistakes. Well, it's not actually that bad. I guess we can't call. We're making so many mistakes in this time bank situation. Not big mistakes, but like, yeah, they're a bit frequent. Either, I guess, let me know. Do you want me to like stop talking and rambling so much and try and play better? As in like make less blunders, timeout blunders, or do you want me to continue this as it is? Let me know. Vote now. Because I'm happy to focus a bit more and talk a bit less if you'd rather see like less errors. But if you don't mind the occasional timeout and you're enjoying the relaxed format, I'll just keep going as is. In it to win it here, gonna just 4-bet kings always. Expect like the way these sort of players play is that they'll just jam ace king in this spot. They don't really care about the positions. So not 4-betting kings is like a travesty. You're gonna get stacked by aces most of the time anyway if you slow play. You just always want to 4-bet kings. They're getting in too many queens and ace king in early position confrontations. I knew we were going to flop a set at some point, guys. Because it's kind of inevitable statistically, right? It's probably a pretty strong range. Could just be like a normal big bet strategy. I'm just going to always check raise middle set though. It's a man that can find a low EV bluff. Congratulations. Oi, good luck, have fun, in it, mate. Yeah, mate, in there, yeah? Yeah, what you have, mate, yeah? Yeah, what you have? You have ace king? Why did you read my question but not answer it, bro? Because I am an evil, vindictive, malevolent scammer. That's why. That's why I didn't answer it. You heard it here first. Capricious piece of shit. That's why. I'm still not going to answer it, Bob. By the way, I'm responding to someone on Twitch chat right now, so this will sound very weird if you're just on YouTube. Sound like I've lost my mind even more than usual. 10-8. Let's check for now, right? Let's try and focus a little bit here. To answer your question, are there any more collabs with the Bald Aussie? The Bald Aussie reached out to me recently, and he said he was playing a bit of poker again. He took a break from poker. He's playing a bit of poker again. He asked me if I wanted to do a collab, and I said yes at some point. So the Bald and Bold Aussie, whose name is Hugh, may well be coming back onto Carrot Corner in the near future. He may well be. 3 table format's your favorite. I like it too, Blake. It feels about right, doesn't it? I have to fold here with 10-9. There's nothing else to do at this SPR. Just don't realize enough. EV immediately on flop with that hand to survive. And if you flop a pair, it's like you end up going with it, but it's still a shitty EV situation. So like the suited connectors need bigger SPR. They require more investment post-flop to get there. Whereas a pocket pair just gets there, it doesn't on the flop, so it doesn't require more investment to see if it gets there. So that's why with like a suited connector, you want a bit more implieds, you want other stuff going on, you want more edge to outplay your opponent, more chips behind, that kind of thing. Whereas like with a robust hand that has frequent strength, like king queen suited, you can call the 3-bet because you just don't need those things. Never folding this hand. I will just 3-bet actually. It was a fast open, but I'm still just going to 3-bet. I could go to 7 here, actually. It's a slight improvement. There's not a thing in GTO, but the spot's so badly played by the recreational side of pool that I don't really mind. I'm going to call ace 10. I don't think I can do any raise against this stack here. Just be a blunder. And B33 is good. And implies just aren't there, unfortunately, against that stack. Filling calls, we're just absolutely shutting this down on the ace turn here. This hand, I just think the fold equity is abysmal against the recreational side of pool here. They're going to underfold this spot. And now they're really going to underfold this spot when they have a pair. Because they have a full house. And they don't realize that if I jam or something, like an 8 isn't different. An 8 is like a bluff catcher. He's taking his time as well, which is even more indicative that he has an ace. So we will not be bluffing this river, guys. Yeah, they're probably not folding that. That's the thing. I don't know what he's tanking about. He's obviously thinking about value betting, but yeah, they're probably not folding that. I vote to make the RNG bigger, says Sam. Okay, you can do that. There you go. Now it's bigger. Big enough? Big enough RNG? Oh, I never actually told you guys what Sam was talking about earlier when he said that we have this secret and we all know about it. We both know about it, but you guys don't. He said on Discord that he would only watch if there was an RNG. Sam actually hates RNGs, right? He doesn't think there should be an RNG at all. That's the joke here. And I think there should be an RNG, but only for minimal use and responsible use. He thinks like, nah, I never ever use it. I come in here and hear that you're evil and vindictive. Well, you didn't need to know that. You're my friend. You already know that. Sure. You already know. You know, if you guys playing 25 an L or something, just always open 10-9 on the button. Just take the spot. Like, it's super break even, sure, but always take the spot. And do have a flattening range out the small blind. You need one. There are hands like 7s here in this formation against recreationals that are just far better to flat than do anything else with. You just need to have the flattening range for that. 4-3 does play a little bit of bet, but not much. We're basically checking back this board a ton. One of the sort of leading boards. What is going on here? I don't know, but I'm not folding it 1,000,000 to 1 against a random 59 VPIP player. Probably going to call river 2, actually. Wow, the other combo of walking sticks. Who would have thunk it, guys? Almost didn't get my ISO 3-bet in with Queen Jack off against the recreational. That would have sucked. Good spot to call 4-bet, to be fair. This is an MDA guy. He might just be doing this with anything, but like, nah. We're still folding. It's fine. I think B33 is okay here. Multi-way actually like to do a bit of betting with various hands in range. King 6 will open with pink tag. I don't know if this is the right tag actually, but yeah. B100 on turn. honestly, like the exploit line there, you guys are playing weak opponents, is probably to half pot turn. Because they're just going to fold pocket pair and they're just not going to fold a king. They just don't understand their indifference points properly. Like if you B100 the turn, their king jack's probably just indifferent, right? But they don't really understand that. So if they're never folding king jack on the turn, like B100 is probably just a good value sizing. Honestly. That's how you should think about these games. This hand is a lovely little hybrid bluff in these positions when you're playing B200 check, which we are. I just did it pure because I wanted to. Ignored the RNG. When you B200 the flop, people are quite predictable. It's quite funny. Like, I talk about this in a new course, like the game plan thereafter, because it can branch off in quite an exploitative way. Like, you start with a B200 check, you start off fairly theoretical, unless your opponent's a fish. In which case you branch already, and you decrease the bluff size a bit. Kind of new to the channel, are you putting in more volume? No, not really. It's just playing on stream, basically, bringing you guys educational live content. It's a popular format. Slowly building a sample, though, slowly building volume, but not rushing it or playing off stream. I've just got too much other stuff to do. I did play a little bit off stream for a while, then I just realized it wasn't efficient, and I should just be streaming whenever I'm playing. Because like this is a forward-facing business, right? We're trying to sell poker education at the end of the day, and there's what better way to do that than be publicly present. So yeah. Start with third pot here, check turn, not much to this hand. I mean, yeah, not really anything. I mean, this hand's interesting. If it does have hybrid properties, I don't think I like taking it against pool. There's not folding anything better here. Don't ever want to get jammed on. They will do that too. They'll jam a bit too much actually in the spot with sets and things. So easy check call. Third pot is probably something like king queen. Most of the time it could be a really good hand too. It could also just be like queen 10 that's betting for no apparent reason, because pool does that. I'm going to fold against 3x under the gun against that stack. I think I face jam a bit too often, maybe a bit of a stronger range. So like if you shove here, like it's just really unbelievable in their eyes. That's the problem with it. I'm going to fold. I actually think that this is extremely unbluffed. I don't think we beat any value at all. We're getting amazing pot odds, but that's a spot against a reg where like we're just not winning, unfortunately. So we make a disciplined lay down there. I can jam in theory sometimes. I'm probably not going to do it. I think it's absurd to start talking about like blocking straights and stuff in a node where people are just like thin value betting, but probably also not really believing that you play a value hand with check call turn, check jam river. So after they bet the inducey sizing on river, your fold equity against the reg's not going to be that good. Some of them might believe you sometimes, right? You might get it through, but it's generally going to be bad. Can I check raise this hand? It feels a bit bad to check raise. I probably can, but I don't know. Depends on sizing. Against that, we're certainly just check calling. We turn this into a bluff now. I think so. I think there's enough going on here. It's just a very high fold equity believable spot. Let's check call. Kind of a non-turn because we don't get to lead here. What is going on here? Check raise? What do we think of check raise, guys? Bit weird, right? This sucks. We have so many outs, though. I think we have too many outs to fold with the implied odds. But it kind of sucks. Wow. We're already dead to 10-8, but we do block it. Definitely want to let Villain keep bluffing here, though, because they're a reg that's got like a reg name that's playing really polar and stuff like that. And we're not perceived to have this hand here at all, so folding is probably not going to be on the cards. It would suck to face jam. It would be really shit. Especially because Villain can have 10-8 off. That said, I don't think we can fold 8-6. I think we're value chopping, value beating. It kind of sucks, though, if they have 10-8 off, yeah. I mean, it's honestly a super shit spot because this pool's so passive. It's obviously so far from a fold in GTO. But against this really passive pool, it's It sucks, it sucks, it sucks. It's just a real horrible kind of cooler spot. If we don't pick up the flush draw in turn, obviously we're just folding. But yeah, we're value chopping, value beating. I do think it's under bluffed, but because we're value chopping and value beating, folding's just a bit too much of a stretch. Kidding aside, Pete, I know that's not your goal, but I swear your words have made me a better tournament player. E.g., well, yeah, of course. Well, poker's poker, you know? Like, I'm not gonna... If you play tournaments and you watch this channel, it's not possible for you not to get better. There's enough overlap between cash and tournaments that you're still going to get a bit better. This guy looks maybe a bit recreationally. How many tables are they playing? I'll just fold, but like it's... Goodbye, huh? Let's see. Unnecessary aggression. Yeah, 4 tabling. Okay, so they're a reg. Yeah, that spot sucked, man. That blind versus blind spot. Because they have the 10-8 offsuit, the value range is actually... Like, I always maintain this. Like, value ranges are really quite big in spots where offsuit straights are possible. Because it's blind versus blind, though, and villain can absolutely still play a set that way, and the same hand as us, and can be bluffing, and they're a reg with a GTOE name, there's no way we can fold. But it's just, like... not as good a spot as you would think. Like, I'm not as excited about that spot as you guys probably are when you see it. Like, I'm kind of like, if we face jam, this will suck. That's my thought process. This guy just leads the flop. I'm gonna fold. I think it's like low VPIP, like rare enough situation. What do I prefer here? I think check, actually. Get the egregiously wide river lead. The spot's really overbluffed, and then just like value bet pot or something anyway against the jack. I think we can close to approach investment ceiling with the check here while leaving the door open for them to just bluff a lot of stuff. So I think it's best. So what you're seeing me doing now is like I just lost a really big pot, right? Which can rattle you. But what I'm trying to do is play a game, like really get curious, think about the game, think about like the play of the hand, not get too bogged down in like trying to get my money back or thinking about the last hand or whatever. Think about it from a strategic point of view, make a bit of peace with it. I'd recommend doing that just so you can get on with the session, right? But then stop and just move on and take an interest in the hands you're about to play. That's really all you can do. What's my sample at? It's at about 68,000 hands, I think. Currently at 5 point something BB per 100. Pre-rake back. But I'm not going to post the graph until it's much bigger sample, obviously. I could easily just turn, right? Like, it's a swingy old game. Russian cash. Because a lot of weaker players in this pool, it's not as swingy. And because we're playing like quite high edge exploitative style, it's not that swingy, but it's still swingy. Like these sort of plays here are just like printing in this pool and just want to take them. Facing a lot of this pre-flop aggression at the moment, but that's how variance works. Like sometimes you run into a lot of these lines. I think river block is really underbluffing that spot. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Like we're basically just dead against that line with the jacks. I worry about your back as you never sit with the chair back. Fair enough, man. I appreciate the consideration. My back's actually pretty robust for now, but like I'm sure there's like back issues in my dad's side of the family, so I probably want to watch that as I continue to advance into, you know, the later stages of life, or the middling stages of life, you could say. Just with these hands in general, I just throw in a little bit of this. I don't really know exactly what hands are supposed to be used, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter, guys. Oh, mate, it's incredibly passive. You've played this pool, actually. You know how passive it is. Obviously, I'm not going to fold 8-6, but no, it is very, very passive. The hand is doing so much worse than you would think. It's doing so badly, actually. Like, okay, it's not a fold. It's not like... I maybe lose like 50% of the time on the river. That's kind of like where I'm at with it. Maybe a bit more. Maybe like 55% on river. I don't think it's a fold, obviously, but I do lose a lot. A lot more than you would think. This is like my multi-way big bet size. 2/3 pot, something like that. 10-9, I don't really care. Less ADHD rambling. Okay. I won't speak again. Bye. The 9-8 suited fold versus 3-bet is rather a call versus reg. No, it's just like very close to indifferent. Very close to indifferent. It doesn't really matter. If it's a fish, I'm more inclined to call because like I just have more skill edge and implieds. Against the reg, I don't really care either way. Yeah, I agree, Jurgen. But still, we're value beating. It's a bluff sometimes. I don't think we can fold. I think it's still plus EV to call at those pot odds because, like, you know, you don't need to win half the time. Your brain thinks you do, but you don't. Do I have ADHD? Do you think I have ADHD? G something something. Do you think I should go and get a diagnosis of ADHD and go around telling people that I have ADHD? Is that what you think I should do? Let me know. G something something. Really curious as to what you think. And if someone does have ADHD, do you think it's offensive to say, to talk of their ADHD rambling? Like, do you think that's a potentially unkind thing to do? Or do you think it's okay? Because, like, if someone had a serious illness, right? Someone has asthma. Okay, that's not a serious illness generally, but let's say someone has asthma. Can I call this? I think no, but it's close. And you say, yeah, good luck catching me with your asthma. Or something like that. Like, well, you gotta run after me, you asthmatic. You say something like that. I have mild asthma, by the way. It's really not bad at all these days because I actually like look after myself, which makes a difference. Would that be offensive? Yeah, I'm just wondering what you think. G something something. What do you think about the morality of the situation? This sucks so much. I'm actually happy that I timed down and folded. I think its value almost always when checks back flop in pot's turn, and we don't beat value. I think we lose there. I actually think we lose. I think that's the time when we should fold top pair to just 1-bet. 100%. This is not really a thing on this board. I don't know what they're doing. It could be some exploit strategy, to be honest. I call this 3-bet as well. Ace 4 is one of our better ace-x now. Why are you shoving on 10-8? Well, obviously you have kings, but like, why have you chosen this line? I mean, it's such a bad play. Oh, what is this line? These guys are reg as well. I mean, if I'm not calling, I mean, I think I have to call ace 4. We're crushing draws, we have redraw against the value. I think we have to call ace 4. Not ace jack. Not ace, and like ace 10, possibly not. The value is like ace king, basically, and I think that's it. I don't think ace queen can do that. Maybe it can. And I don't think nines or something does that. And then there's like a bunch of flush draws. And we have redraw against ace king. So I think we just call ace 4, and like we probably don't call ace jack. But understanding that ace 4 is a better call than ace jack there is a good thing. Maybe we don't call ace 4, I don't know. But if we're gonna call an ace, we call ace 4. So tough session today, results-wise. Like, we're running into a few coolery spots. We're getting stacked a couple of times. Just gotta get your head down. Keep grinding. Make it through the session. So if you guys are playing a session and this sort of thing happens, it's a pretty good idea to it's a pretty good idea to set a time that you're thinking about stopping the session. Ideally, you would do that before you actually play the session. Set a time where you're going to stop and try to stick to that. This is very weird. This could be some exploit, like nonsense raise line. It's close, I don't know. Very close with that hand. We are dead to like sevens exactly, and like 10, 7 and stuff like this. Oh man, we're just facing all of these horribly underbluffed nodes at the moment. For 2x pot, honestly, I think we lose here. I'm going to hero fold this one. I think this is very hard for villain to bluff enough. Oh man. Yeah, ace of clubs. That's a good bluff if you have that hand. But I think in general we should fold that spot. My pillow fell off. I timed out eights. It's all falling apart, guys. Imagine this happened to Easty. This run of stuff where we got bluffed when we folded a flush on river, and then we folded eights to like a turn probe, and then our pillow fell off our chair. Imagine that. Look how well I'm handling this. Imagine that happened to Easty. I go for double barrel here on the queen turn. Just drop the sizing a little bit. Yeah, I think that's the only possible hand we can win against. And if we call the river, it's a good bluff. Obviously, it's a very good bluff as played with that hand. I did suspect it was some nonsense on turn. I just didn't think on that river we were really ever facing 2x pot from anything but boats, nut flushes, and then the odd combo of that. So I like the fold. I do actually like the fold. Small bet or check here, both reasonable. Just chilling here for a second. I'll sit back into that table in a bit, but yeah. But yeah, some better regs in the pool that are finding this stuff for sure. I like the fold with the queen high flush. We have a bluff catcher and under bluff spot. It's a good disciplined fold, regardless. Okay, easy river check with king 10. I'll just take my time though. Especially if I'm thinking about check folding. This guy just leads 5-4-6, which is okay. I think we're very close to indifferent with ace queen. Awful card for range. They should lead again. Basically range here. Hot. We block king jack, which is the main bluff with the king of diamonds. Block no value. I don't think this is the combo to call. Getting wrecked, guys. Ace queen can do that, but it's a bit thinner because we have ace queen sometimes. And so like they're not beating ace queen when called. There are less worse aces calling. So it's just a bit thinner. Maybe it can, Leonard, but it's a different hand. It's not exactly the same. It's not exactly the same. Pete, what's your take on 3-betting out of position when being effective 150 plus deep? Half the high stakes cash. Guys say use bigger sizing. Less than the SPR. The other say puts nerd glasses on. Actually, you don't want to play. Yeah, my take is like it's a worse situation for you than normal. So when you make the pot bigger, it depends how deep you are. If you're a little bit deep, I can see making the pot bigger being like an advantageous thing to do to cut back a bet on odds, maybe. But when you are really deep, making the pot bigger is just going to play into the hands of the in-position player because their EV is bolstered by being deep. And you're so deep that you don't really get to cut back on implieds very much in stack to pot ratio. So you're just making a bigger pot in a bad situation when you do that. So I think it depends how deep you are. If you're 200 deep, I would be inclined to just call more, play less hands, just not 3-bet as much. Just don't enter into that arena as often with marginal stuff. And go a bit more polar and build a flattening range. And if you're just like 140 deep or something, then yeah, the bigger 3-bet makes a bit more sense, I think. I'm not an expert on that sort of thing though, but that's my take. Hi Pete, quite sure you don't have ADHD. Good to know, Jim. What are your credentials for diagnosing people or absolving people of ADHD. I don't think absolving is the right word, but you know what I mean. Clearing people. Right, we'll try and make it through the session, play as well as we can. The better we play in losing sessions like this, guys, the more our win rate holds up long term. This is a test of our win rate. And players that get crushed tend to capitulate under these conditions, whereas the long-term winners can keep it together more effectively. Under the gun versus all these people, I don't mind check, I don't mind half pot either. I'm probably going to fold river here to like big action from this player. So it's just a little too thin, I think. This guy leads, he's like sort of all over the place. 53 VPip. Probably has an 8 or like 7s or something. I don't know if I rate the fold equity by raising though, and he still has a lot of like draws and nothing. Stretch river we probably are supposed to bluff. I don't like it against 53 VPip. I'm probably not going to. Like, we're very close to the bottom now. No, we're probably not. Maybe not meant to bluff, it's close. I'm not going to against this player. I just don't think they're going to fold king 8 and stuff like that. 53 VPip enough. And I have some showdown with the 5s against like the random leads, although admittedly a lot less on the queen. Always 3-betting ace king. I will actually try and play a more focused stream, I think, one of these days soon, and try and play a game. I don't think we're playing badly. I think we're playing quite well, actually, even though we're getting crushed today. We're making a few mistakes here and there. We're on the wrong end of a lot of stuff that's happened, but overall we're playing okay. But I would like to show you guys what I'm actually like when I'm at my best, which is not when I'm ADHD rambling, in the words of a chatter. Oh, I see. Being able to be in the zone while rambling about random stuff is something what ADHD people with ADHD are good at. Okay, fair. Maybe that's why. Maybe I do then. Maybe that's why I do it. I don't know. Like, I do play my best bridge when I'm like really relaxed and chilled. I don't play very well when I'm hyper focusing at bridge. Like, if I'm like, God, there's so much pressure, I have to play well, I have to focus. I don't actually play that well. And I play a lot better when I'm in a relaxed, focused kind of mindset. And I guess talking to you guys makes me more relaxed. So I do think some rambling is probably a good thing for standard of play. Maybe I do. I don't know. It's interesting. Jim says ADHD has a lot of problems focusing, problems staying organized, procrastinating. What else, Jim? People mix up with being overly energetic. Yeah, I'm not overly energetic. I have a lot of coffee though, which makes me more energetic. I'm definitely not overly energetic. I have good energy levels, but they're not like, you know, a problem. In terms of procrastinating, I'm not the worst procrastinator, actually. I'm quite good at when something needs to be done, I'm quite good at getting it out of the way so I can then enjoy the rest of my day. There could be a bit more info so you can help with your diagnosis. There was some disgusting spots, says Mixed on Twitch. Yeah. Navigating them as best we can. That's all we can do. I really like the fold we made with the flush. Even though our opponent had the rare bluff that time, I really like it. It's a way worse spot to call in than the other one where we got stacked. In fact, it's just a very bad spot to call in. Like, if we call there, it is a tilt call. 100% a tilt call. I like this guy's line with ace king, by the way. It's not a bad way to play against pool. A lot of people are going to be incapable of folding hands like ace jack there and stuff like that. And what do I want to do here? Call this time. We'll let this guy barrel river. Oftentimes when they go small on turn, they're planning on like over bluffing river or something. Check raise is really good here if he has. It's okay actually if he has a 10. It's not amazing. I think we can fold to 2/3 there. Use B50 here to reopen. Fold. These sessions where you need to fold these medium relative strong hands over and over, it's just very difficult to keep finding them, especially if some odd guy shows the bluff in the underbluff spot. Yeah, absolutely. That's how you just fall apart, right? And it's why most amateur poker players don't have what it takes. Because under these conditions, your brain is screaming, you're getting outclassed, you're getting outplayed, you're getting killed, blah, blah, blah. Like it's screaming all the stuff at you. And you have to learn that that part of your brain is not the poker player part. It's not the logician. It's actually the animal brain that's telling you that. I feel like when we face check under over there, we're losing a lot, but still, check will be better than bet. It's 10, I don't care, I don't want to be involved. I will go bigger with queen 10 with 36 VPIP here. So yeah, these are the sessions that make a big deal. They're the silent makers of win rate, or sessions like this, because if you keep it together in sessions like this, and you play well, and then you compare that, you duplicate that situation, because it will happen to everyone eventually, right? And you look at how it went for your peers, your fellow regs, when they ran into that variance, you might find that some of them absolutely capitulate. Like they play terribly. You might find others play for an extra 2 hours playing their F game, and others still just quit the session and can't put in as much volume. So overall, if you're someone that can just say, okay, my designated session end time was 10:25 today, for example, let me keep going until then, and then I'll stop, and then I'll review later, and I'll just like get through my session. It's like a tough day at the office. That is the mentality you need under these circumstances, guys. I can't stress that enough. That is such a good, healthy mentality to have under those circumstances. I like this a lot against 54 VPIP. I expect a bit of spew here, and I'm going to bet turn. You'll note that my strategy is very much to take thin double barrels where I benefit from protection. Because they're missing river bluffs anyway here. You don't get that rich by checking back and calling. So just protect your equity and go for thin value with these spots. And yeah, I'm just so unbothered today about losing. Like, I'm so confident. Another thing is, like, the more confident you are over your abilities in a game, I'm going to take 3-bet here every day. The reason being, I want to be building pots in position with good hands against bad players. Very simple. It's higher EV to 3-bet than call. It doesn't matter what your charts say. I will play a bit of check here. Otherwise, B33. Queens, jacks, tens, ace, queen. It's a very good board for us in a sense that if he doesn't have queens, then we very often make a bit of money. That's not a very good turn at all. Probably still going to be 50 call, to be honest. Or do I want to play shove? Maybe we'll just play shove. Not sure. It's hard for people to fold like queen jack suited ace queen, stuff like this in this spot. It's not that easy for us to bluff this spot. We have to shove ace king and stuff like that. I'm not sure we're perceived to do that, honestly. Which is a bit of an issue. But still, people like to station me, so we should be okay. Guys, should we cash out? I don't think we will. I don't think you guys want me to. For you, we will risk it. Even though we're running bad, we'll still risk it. Jack, that's okay, right? Just say I have a jack here, I have 10 high. Does this get through 37% of the time or whatever? Probably. If he's good, he should just call ace 5 here because it's a super overbluff spot. And I will get owned by anyone that's doing that, but I don't care. I'm going to bluff 10 high and worse, not king high. Good call with ace 10. Say, yeah, good call. I don't know who it is though, so like against the unknown, there are people that fold all of those hands. What's happening here? I don't know what's happening. Did I ISO? I think I ISO'd. That's why the pot's that size. Okay. Right, guys, what are you saying? Sorry, let me engage a bit. You're not getting wrecked, just timing, mate. Oh, mate. Yeah, I mean, I don't mean I'm getting wrecked, like, outclassed. Like, clearly not. Although the guy that bluffed ace of clubs, kudos to him. But in general, getting wrecked, when I say that, I just mean, like, encountering shit variance. Happens. It's not even shit variance. I would encourage you to describe it in a different way. It's negative variance, and everyone experiences negative variance. If you say it's shit variance, you're almost saying, like, I'm a victim of this thing I don't deserve that's happened to me. That's just so far from the truth in poker. It really is so far. I go B100 in this spot. B100 check against a reg and unknown. This is a hybrid. We get called by some worse stuff. We get some better stuff to fold. We have ultimately nutted pair draw. We have overcards to everything. Even queens. I know you guys like to see people run bad and how they deal with it as well. So I think this is good content, right? Like when you see someone run bad and then deal with it well, it's a good example to set. And that's what I want to be doing, guys, is setting you a good example as a poker coach. Not like, oh, I'm running bad and someone pissed me off in chat. I have my weakness. I have my weak days, you know, where like I just don't feel like playing and then I run bad and I'm like, I can't be bothered. But these days, like my mental game's so strong just in life that streaming doesn't really bother me so much. Trolls. What was the troll that bothered me recently? It was in the afternoon. I'm much moodier in the afternoon than in the morning. What was it he said that bothered me? I think it was just something like really nasty. I don't remember now. Sometimes if it's really nasty, I just like snap delete it and I'm like, okay, well, that's just a piece of shit human I don't need to engage with. I guess it's when it's like close that it's a bit harder. A few 3-bets going on here. This one is pretty simple. I'm just going to be 50. I could check raise actually. I think I'll just be 50 though. This one, I will not range bet as big blind here. At least this is the sort of hand I'm not. I probably should bet that on a 34 actually, but it's not a big deal. B50 again is the right play with queens. Put them in a spot where they can't really fold. They'll do some jamming. Don't have to rush pot growth too much here. And this is a clear fold if I do check flop. But I'm okay with check fold, don't get me wrong. It's not a bad line or anything. King, queen of spades, huh? You want to run it twice? Okay. One twas. Two twas. My friend James says every time he's seen the chip riffle, they've had a bluff. Every time. Like they're trying to act strong. Strong is weak, weak is strong. There's a set. We called threes. Villain's just mindlessly 1/3ing, because that's what people do. We will raise the flop. They have an overpair. We will pot turn. No, we're going to slight overbet turn shove river. Don't want to give him time to calm down either. No time to calm down. Or calm down. That's unfortunate. Ace of hearts here. This guy's just like tilted out of his mind. We're just going to let him destroy himself. Even without the ace of hearts, I'd let him destroy himself. That's not ideal, but I don't care. I'm going to continue to slow play the spot and let him destroy himself. He might have a high equity draw that we maximize by raising against, or he might just have ace jack. And if he has ace jack, I don't want to take away his ability to destroy himself. If he has like a high equity draw, he'll probably call it off. That's the downside. And now we hope he has like some 8 or some pocket jacks or some hand like that. Leaving them with the destroy themselves button though. I'm a fan. Big fan of slow playing that spot. Call. I guess. Kind of shitty spot. You had the blockers, you know, you can't fold with the blockers. Did you see Nick Eastwood's top 10 hands video? No. I love Nick, he's a great guy. I can't stand watching his content. I can't. It's just the same thing. Over and over and over again. I mean, my stuff is the same thing over and over again. Turning it into a bluff with the Jack of Hearts, I think it's somewhat relevant in the blocker. Speaking of blockers, but more so it's just really capped. Going to be 220 because why not? Like his content is some. Do you know what? That's not true. I can stand watching it if I'm in that kind of mood where I want to see someone suffer, and I think that's what he appeals to, right? Is that that human. Not that I'm okay. That came out wrong. I don't want to see people suffer. I never watch content of like people getting beaten up and shit like that. It's not the sort of thing I'm into. But like a funny, like a guy getting wrecked at poker can be quite cathartic to watch, right? And Nick does that incredibly well. I can't like watch a full one of his videos or anything like that, though. I can watch like a few clips of it just to get that fix, and then like I'm out of there. I feel like these guys called 4-bet a lot. Or 4-bet a lot. This isn't a called 4-bet. Orange. How many tables are you playing? We're a little bit deeper. This is super close. I'll just fold. I'll just fold, guys. I think that hand is indifferent. I'm going to fold because I didn't have time to check, and if they're one-tabling, I probably should have just taken time, like, and paid a time. Nah, it's not the spot for a time chip, actually. It's not worth it. Giving away EV with the time chip is, like, it's sometimes worth it, and other times just not. Easy limp here with 8-6. Hopefully we get to see a flop. Okay. Not straight draw, guys. I'm going to bet the spot. These ranges are very, very weak. So is this one. Especially those ones. So you want to just pure bluff. Oh. I think you can 3-bet this sometimes. For value, it's like a value 3-bet in these positions. Against min. Wonder Kid seems like one of the better players in the pool. I'm not totally sure about that yet, but it's kind of leaning that way. So I'm just going to play like more turtle shell game against them. Which means like retreating into like normal, like unexploitative default play. And like you can just see me RNGing here because like all the lines are roughly equal with ace queen in the spot, like fold, call, and raise. There's not a lot in it. So kind of playing like close to a 3-way mix, I think, on flop there. I'm going to snap check the river because there's just not a lot to get value from here, and I expect an ace to value bet anyway. Could have a queen, but we block that. And it's going to be hard to get called by worse stuff. So yeah, again, they play quite solidly. Dream squeeze spot. We'd like this guy to just fold and just play heads up with Hayurunga. But no, we get instantly 4-bet. I think we do have to call this one. Snap timing as well is very likely like ace king or something like that. With that timing, aces sometimes you slow down a bit, which check folding flop here, we're just dead. Against that pre-flop timing, we're in very bad shape now. Don't even beat queens. Yeah, we're just gonna have to fold, unfortunately. I'm gonna take this spot with ace jack. It's very break even, but we're gonna take it. And we are not gonna call even quarter there. Interesting. I think leaving these people in for the cooler situation is better than turning the hand into a bluff. There's the chip riffle. Okay, in this spot, he has like jack 10 because of the chip riffle. If it weren't the case that these guys could have like random slow plays in king queen, I'd call and bluff him on the river. I wanted to see the proof that he had jack 10 after the chip riffle. I would have done a Charlie Carroll kind of thing if it was heads up there. Yeah, Eastie's reaction is quite enjoyable. Trying to coach him is not enjoyable because like he'd rather just moan. But the rage reaction is very enjoyable. Pass on that spot because I'm involved in a few other hands here. I'm gonna go for check raise here. On this roll, I'm going to 3-bet the flop here with this hand. It's just a bit too high EV. Expect villain's range to be a bit merged as well. Always check raising when I play the hand this way. I'm kind of saying I have the nuts or something. So I'll go for the sizing. Just setting up for like slight overbet river jam. I'm not going to bluff over here. I don't think it's folded enough. Honestly. He can have like ace queen ace jack, but why does that check flop bet turn? I feel like he either just doesn't believe me, or he has like a king. And in both of those cases, I get stationed too often. It's also me, right? So I don't mind the line of check raise turn. You're going to get the ones that believe you to just fold immediately with their ace queen or whatever. You might have kings actually with that line. Pot on river, that looks really greedy. Doesn't look like a bluff size at all. That spot. You might well have kings and just be like, I mean, you get called by nothing with kings in that spot, obviously, but yeah. You get called by nothing with any hand in that spot. Like the polarized guy that check raised the turn just doesn't have a check call range on river at all to speak of. But guys, I'm going to wrap up shortly. If you like the style of poker, theory first, exploits, thinking about EV a lot, check out Carrot Corner. Use code CRUSH20. Shut up, Siri. I wasn't talking to you. Hey, Siri, go away, please. There you go. Does as she's told. That's good. Don't want her to start, like, listening to our entire stream. Although, is she doing that anyway, guys? Do you know if she just listens, like, constantly? Just, like, stores all the data of what we're saying? Probably does, right? But yeah, how to keep it together has been the main thing for today. Pretty tough session, grueling at times. Another thing you should really avoid, by the way, if you're a serious poker player, or anyone, is this idea of I was running bad and then I kept my head in the game, I grinded hard and I got a bit back, or I got back to even. I managed to recoup. I managed to recover. No. You didn't manage to recover. Variance just came around and gave you some wins. Like, it took some money from you, then it gave you some back. You played well. You kept your EV as high as you could. That's commendable. But you did not lose money due to being a victim of bad variance and then win it back on merit by being a hero. This is like such a absolutely distorted, insane take that people have. It's such an underfolded spot from a reg that it's just laughable. Like, if you have a value hand here, you just get to win money. No one's good enough to fold in that spot, even though it's never bluffed. So yeah, it's not that easy check. I do not want to reopen here. It's not that you ground it back, that you fought hard and reclaimed some of the money that cruel variance took from you, the helpless victim. No. You just ran bad and then you ran good and you played well, and they're two separate things. And it's good that you played well, but you also ran bad and then you ran good, right? That's what happened. A bad run out. What do you have? And can I call? And you could have a bit of random shit here, honestly. You have some merges as well, though, which is kind of unfortunate. Ace Queen is quite a lot of hands. Ace 7. You lose to some of the merges, though. It's close, I don't know. Also, like, not a card people bluff super often. Ace 10, 9. I'll go B200 check here. I'm going to check back the turn if I hit a flush. And 9. 7s. So I'm bluffing here. The 9 really sucks, though. I might just pure check this particular flush combo, actually, given that card. Right, guys, I'm going to wrap up and get some lunch in a minute. Hope you guys have enjoyed the show so far. Good pair for us. Nice spot. Against half pot, this is close. I think it's probably mostly fold. Hard spot to get paid. I'll just half pot. Overfold the spot and pull. Right, let's get out here and get some food, I think. Mr. Person says, isn't rambling kind of the point of streaming? I think so. I think it makes it more enjoyable. You see a lot of streamers that just sit and click buttons, and I don't really see how they expect to retain audiences. But yeah. So today, what happened was we played quite well. I'd say we played very well, actually. I'd say we played like B+, A- kind of level. Not our best, because we were like a little unfocused and timing out sometimes. Made a few like careless errors, but in the spots that mattered, we played really well. We ran okay at first, then we ran very negatively. We got coolered a couple of times. We got bluffed by like a rare bluff in an underbluff spot. You know, we got shown it, which was a test to our mental game. That wasn't a bad thing that we got shown a bluff. It was a test to the mental game. And then we set ourselves a session goal in our head of saying we're going to play for X amount of time. That's what we would do if we were a grinder, we're a professional poker player. And we try and play our A game, or as close to it as possible until that time, and then we stop and decompress and unwind and review after a break. That would be the idea. We then won a bit of money because of more positive variance, while coincidentally still playing quite well. We did not manage to grind it back. What a stupid, deluded thing to say. I know you all say it, right? But it is, I'm not calling you stupid, but it is a stupid idea when you think about it. That when you run bad, it's all variance, but when you slowly make money, people have this delusion that when it gets taken from you suddenly, it's bad and it's tragic and it's bad variance and you're a victim. And when you slowly win a few pots, that it must be skill. No. When you slowly win a few pots, you're getting gradually positive variance back. Your edge, your skill level, applies to every single hand you play in an unnoticeable, in the background, sort of tweaking up the dial sort of way of your win rate. And it takes a long time for that to converge. So narratives about sessions where you like grind money back by playing well are not your friend. They are toxic. And you should try to avoid them. Themes today, technically, were folding in underbluff spots, relative hand strength, and understanding that because you've called a turn raise and hit a flush in the river, that doesn't mean that you can then call an all-in when you hit a flush, because it's relative to your villain's action. You have to reassess the hand at that point. You want to think about isolating weaker players. Stuff like when villain polarizes by like jamming the turn in the 3-bet pot, ace-5 is better than ace-jack. Like it's about your redraw more than about like your kicker, because all the kickers are kind of equal if their value range is ace-queen plus. And all that sort of stuff, right? So go back, review the stream again if you want. That's what came up. Check out carrotcorner.com for more structured educational stuff. Code CRUSH20 will get you 20% off. Have a look after the video, top link in the description. And I'll be streaming later in the week.